Hi, I'm Helen from Woolly Chic and I'm taking part in the Knit Every Day in March challenge for Alzheimer's Research UK. It is the 24th of March today, so the 24th day of my Knitting Every Day challenge, and today I am preparing for my Blanket Club workshop, which takes place monthly at the St Hippolyte's Parish Hall. So that's this evening, and I'm just going to be demonstrating how to do the envelope border or the double layer border like I made on my Wrapped in a Woolly Hug blanket. And the pattern is now back from the tech editor, so thank you, Jane. I am going to be able to publish this soon and take with me this new design to my next wool show, which is the Sodbury Yarn Over in Chipping Sodbury on the 12th and 13th of April. So yes, what I will do at the end of this video is I will just do a few clips of me making a double-edged or double layer border or an envelope border, and I've got my sample piece here, so I'll be adding a border to this. And the great thing about an envelope border is that you don't need to sew in all of these ends, because all of these ends will be just trapped within the border. So thank you very much for watching my videos. It must be just a week to go before the end of my challenge, and I've raised a lot of money for Alzheimer's Research UK, so thank you to everyone who's donated and everyone that's been liking and commenting on my little videos. Thank you for cheering me on. And yeah, it's a lovely sunny day today, and I hope that wherever you are, you're enjoying a bit of sunshine too.
So let me show you how to make an envelope border which comprises of 2 layers and then joined together, trapping all of the ends in between the 2 layers and then making a slip stitch to join and completely hiding all the ends. The great thing about a double layer border is that it creates a nice kind of squishy edge to your border, finishes it off nicely, but also on a blanket like this one, where you've got lots of textural stitches, the cables and the front posts and back post stitches, it means that it kind of adds that sort of weight to the edge of your blanket. So this is just a sample of my larger blanket, and yeah, let me get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have my crocheted fabric the right side up. I'm going to join in the corner stitch here. I'm just going to pull a loop through and then secure it just by going yarn around the hook and pulling through a loop like a chain, but that isn't actually a stitch, that's just joining into place. I'm going to start with 1 chain and then make double crochet stitches all the way along the edge of my sample here, or my blanket or my cushion or whatever I'm making. So I'm going to do double crochet stitches in evenly spaced out all along the edge of the first side. So a double crochet stitch, that's a UK double crochet stitch. If you're in America, you will know this stitch as a single crochet stitch, but I am just going to go in, pull through a loop, 2 loops on my hook, yarn around the hook and pull through those 2 loops. So I'm just evenly spacing out. Now here I'm coming up to the turn-in chain, which was at the beginning of that particular row, and I'm going to put my hook in right the way through the middle of one of those chains and make my double crochet stitch, and then at the end of that next row a double crochet stitch. So just keep on going evenly. Now you can go underneath the chains or the last treble crochet stitch, but I like to go through the stitch itself because I think that gives it a bit of a neater edge. And then we keep going in through the stitches. I think I'll put one here. Yeah, it's just using your judgment really to where to put your hook to make those edge stitches. And then I'm coming up to where I've got an end. So I'm going to pull through my 2 loops, but then what I'm going to do is pull the tail through the middle of that loop, put my hook back into the loops and finish off the stitch as normal. That then means that your tail is coming right the way through the middle of that double crochet stitch of the V. So you've got the front loop here, and then behind that tail there is the back loop. And that's really important that you pull these tail ends through the actual stitch, because that's how we will be trapping them between the 2 layers. So then here's the next tail. So I'm going to go in, pull through the grey all the way, pull that through, pop those 2 loops back on my hook, and then carry on by finishing the double crochet stitch. So I'm going to do that all the way along until I get to the corner of this first side. So I've come to the corner stitch, and I am now going to do 3 double crochet stitches all into this one stitch here. And that then turns the corner neatly and adds an increase, which means that it will lie flat. So I've done 2, I'm going to do the 3rd. And then mark the middle of those 3 stitches. So the second stitch, I'm going to put a stitch marker in, and then when I come round to do the next round, I'll know to do 3 double crochet stitches into that stitch there. And then moving along to the top, I'm just going to do a double crochet stitch in each of these double crochet stitches or treble crochet stitches along the top. And you can see I'm putting my hook in underneath the V, so both parts of the stitch, catching the loop, pulling up a loop. I've got 2 loops on my hook, finishing off the stitch. So yeah, a double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way along. So once you've crocheted your double crochet stitches all around the edge, you'll see that there is a series of V's with your tails coming through the middle. So you'll have a front loop and a back loop, and it's into each of those loops that you'll be making a layer and trapping the ends in between. So I'm going to do rounds of half trebles, and so I'm going to go yarn on the hook, come into the front loop, catch the yarn, pull up a loop, yarn on the hook, and then pull through those 3 loops. And then you'll see there's the front loop and the back loop. I'm going to go yarn on the hook, just come into the front loop, leaving the back loop, and pulling through and making my stitch. So I'm going to carry on and crochet half trebles all the way around, just in the front loops. I should say that I've got the right side of the fabric facing forward for this first layer. And then when I've gone all the way round, I'll probably do 2 or 3 rounds of half trebles and then turn it over and work into the back loops. So when you've completed one layer of the width that you've decided that you like, you turn it over so you've got the wrong side facing, and here you can see all your ends are all poking out. So then what we're going to do is, if we look at the back, you'll see that there is a loop here, the back of those double crochet stitches that you made as you went round the edge. And I'm going to put my hook into one near to the corner. You could start anywhere really, and then join another loop of your yarn. Now I'm keeping to the same colour so that the front and back looks the same, and then I'm just going to make a chain, secure that into place, and then 2 chains, which will be the height of your half treble, and then make another half treble into that same loop where you pulled through your loop of yarn, and pull through all 3 loops. So then you do exactly the same as you did for the first layer, half trebles in each of those loops. And I'm sort of just pushing the other layer away and making sure that the tails are all to the back, and then crocheting into those front loops that were the back loops of the previous round. But because you've turned your work over, and then you're working into the only loops that you can see, which are the front loops of your double crochet stitch. And then off you can go, crocheting all the way around your second layer. I'm going to carry on and do that, and I'll come back and show you how to join the 2 layers together and trap those ends in between. And then I'm going to join those 2 layers together using slip stitches just into the back loop and the front loop of the 2 layers. So the 2 loops that are lying next to each other, I'm going to put my hook in under those 2 loops, yarn around the hook, and slide it through the stitches and the loop that's on my hook. And I'm going to make slip stitches to join the 2 layers together all the way along, and making sure that the ends are just sandwiched between those 2 layers. So slip stitch in